kind of did it.
Kind
of did that the other.
I missed you clicking the button.
Yeah, I kind of did things in reverse this time. Good morning, Teresa.
My coffee's not warm. It's warm. It's not hot.
Man, you didn't say
Good morning, Doris.
Oh my gosh, you started too early.
The coffee, Doris, is warm.
You didn't say anything. Luke. You didn't say anything. Your coffee was prepared for a while. You would have said, "Hey, Terrence, could you warm up my coffee?"
My coffee is lukewarm.
Well, it's gonna be lukewarm for a minute. What's up? Oh my God.
Who's Nate?
Oh yeah. Nate.
Yeah.
Nate, dude, you are still in the doghouse. You are still in the doghouse. Nate, morning, Diana. What's up, Brandon?
I don't know a Nate.
Oh my gosh. Good morning, Joyce.
I don't know a Nate. Oh, good morning, Joyce. Good morning, Diana. Show me your coffee cup.
Oh gosh.
Show me what you're sipping with. Show me what you're sipping with. It's Monday. Listen, let me tell y'all right now. I'm starting off.
What's up, Pastor?
I'm starting off on this high for Monday, and let me tell you, I knew.
What's up, Liv?
First of all, I have to go to this training all day. Hi, Olivia. Wait, let me start. Good morning, Olivia. How are you and your friend?
I said hi. See, me and Olive got some problems. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I have a problem with her right now.
You can't put a photo. You gotta find a coffee emoji.
My spiritual daughter, I have issues with her.
My rebellious alma bear talking about I don't have a photo of the coffee. She probably got no coffee. She could have put up an emoji.
Sacrilege on a Monday morning, no coffee.
Can't stay true to the cup. You're not true to the cup, Diana. You're not true to the cup.
Oh Lord. So if you're not true to the cup, you can't be the cup bearer.
I'm gonna have to buy her a cup that has a letter D on there for Diana.
But oh well.
All right. Life updates. So it was I had a very oh, come on here. Come through, Diana, with the cup, girl. Help yourself. Listen, it has been, oh man, we got so much to talk about. So we have so many minutes. So I'll tell you, it's been a busy weekend, and I had commencement. Those of you probably already know. So I am a assistant professor at Cardinal Stritch University, but I'm also faculty chair of undergraduate studies in the College of Business. And yesterday was a tremendously powerful day. The entire weekend being a part of all the activities for our graduates across the university, but it was so special. I have to share this, why you have to be so true to stay the course of what God called you or what you believe is the calling of your life. And when we first started our Monday mornings with the Moores, I shared the story. Terrence and I were laughing. We still laugh about it. It wasn't funny then, though. When I was sent on a sabbatical from 2 different universities, right? 2 different universities, and I want you to be encouraged.
Transition, kicked out.
You know what? You a little hater.
Oh, I don't hate.
You're hating on.
I don't hate.
Okay,
I don't. That's right.
Now.
That's right. I'm not.
Okay.
Ooh, I want to be. I wish I was kicked out.
No, nobody dig me points for using wrong word use.
Mm-hmm.
So
showing your age.
Yes, it's the 5 one. So I struggled greatly in college, was very good in high school. And in long story short, yesterday, before that, finally ended up getting my PhD. And earned. Everything I have is earned. I didn't ship any money off anywhere. I earned, and I cried, and I have this, student loans to prove it. So the payments to prove it.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. The sacrifice of Terrence's checks to prove putting me through school. So let me tell you.
Moment of silence.
You would never think a person with that type of background and struggle would be in the situation I was in yesterday. And this is my 3rd commencement as a full-time faculty chair. And I had a word that was shout out to Apostle Venner Alston years ago that was profoundly spoken over my life. I went to her church, to a women's conference representing my church. I was the only person from my church that went from Covenant. And profoundly, she put me in front of a team of prophetic voices that spoke and said that they saw these flags of different nations on my back, and they were coming to me, and that I would impact the words of my mouth would impact nations and would be sent to the nations. So I have traveled abroad, and I've had the opportunity to do research on undergrad, and then as a chair, my last venture in India. But let me tell you the power of how I'm sitting in the, going through commencement exercises yesterday, and realize that the students that I taught for nations from Ecuador, Brazil, Chile, United Kingdom, Micronesia, all over the world, there came flags on my back, taking pictures, pulling me down before the commencement started, because they believed that I was their mentor. And Terrence was at their presentation last week of all of the work they did for the local businesses, and calling me their mentor. And I tell you, who would think a little girl from the country, Snowden, Mount Pleasant, would have that type of impact? And I have a colleague, Safa, from South Africa, and he was like, you are teaching the nations, you are touching the nations, and all of these countries, and they're wearing their stoles yesterday from different countries. And when I'm walking down the aisle, my colleagues are saying, when the faculty were commencing in yesterday, and one pulled me and said, Cheryl, on this side, Cheryl, on this side. Dr. Moore, you have all of the countries. Listen, I'm saying that not to brag. I'm saying that to boast you into your future. I don't care what it looks like. I never in a million years would have dreamt that I would be touching the lung, that people that don't look like me, that there are from countries, from Turkey. I mean, so many the university as a whole was represented by 47 countries. But to know that in the College of Business, I know we have over 30 represented that crossed my path, that felt like I was that important and vital in their meeting their families that flew over. I cannot tell you, in Mexico, my DACA students. I have many DACA students that are empowered, that I help them individually. I coach them and help them navigate through the systems. And, I hope Facebook doesn't take us off live because of the work that I do with the DACA students, but I'm a proud supporter of Dreamers. I don't care what country you're from. They are noted as the Dreamers. Let me tell you, you be encouraged. Maybe you struggled in that class and you got a D. Maybe you put the book down because college isn't for me. But who would think I was not a 4.0 student in college? I struggled until my senior year. That's when the GPA jumped to where it needed to be, in the high 3s. But think about my path and the power of which came to pass in my life to experience that. I encourage all of you this morning, don't give up hope, because you don't know who you're going to touch. And the word specifically came out of Apostle Venner Austin's church. The nations will coming to you. And for me to teach nations, what a tremendous honor and a point of humility. And I tell you, I am blessed and I appreciate it. I may not be a millionaire, but man, God is using my mouth in a different realm. You be encouraged in whatever it is. I don't care what it looks like. You were called to do it. So you be encouraged in doing that.
I think good morning, cuz Monty from out of Massachusetts, from Boston. I am very proud of Cheryl, and I've never made it a secret. But one of the things that really had stuck out to me that she did not mention a while ago was the fact that she was able to teach a class in India that by video conferencing.
Yeah, live stream.
And I was there last summer, and I was there to witness that.
Yeah. We went into work. I went into work at 12 o'clock midnight.
Yes, and dragged me along.
Dragged him. I was like, "You're coming with
her.
Me. You're coming with me."
But
it's like he's sitting in his live class.
Exactly.
And we're live in India, and they're looking at us.
And the thing that was so great, and she was with 2 other doctors, and the thing that was so great about it is the fact that when she spoke, the whole room shifted. And I'm not saying this to brag about her, but I'm telling you that the room shifted and they hung on to every word that she had to say. And those who have heard Cheryl speak before is that when she speaks, she not only speaks from an educational perspective, but she speaks prophetically. And that in the mode in which she delivered that lesson that I was able to witness, they hung on every word. And I think they were at master's level,
doctorate,
master's and doctorate level, just hanging on to her every word that poured out of her mouth. And again, as she said, this young lady from Snowden, the rural area of Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
So no matter where you come from, I'm from Hollywood,
right.
From the rural area of Hollywood, traveled internationally as well.
From Monk.
Yeah, exactly. From
Chamber.
The Monk Chamber. It's just the fact that God has placed us in key areas to touch nations, and he does it very strategically. Sometimes when people think that, okay, well, the Lord is going to send me to nations, that he's going to send you internationally, sometimes the reality is that God has nations already in this nation that you're going to touch.
Right.
And she's doing it from the academic realm. I'm doing it from the business realm, touching in particularly more Asian nations from what I do. And right. When you are sent to do something, you cannot have a preconceived ideas of what you think that God is really saying. You really have to allow God to form that in the way he sees it and the way he purposed in your life. So don't look at your background. Don't look at where you are right now. If God has already said this for you, then God meant it for you. You just need to be obedient and really be submissive to his will and let him do it. He'll do it way better than your plan.
I think for us too, that brings us to a point of being full circle, because we ended our story talking about, it's the wedding day.
Right.
And, but think about the part, if you've been following our journey, where I, call the wedding off. I did it a couple of times, just really frustrated.
Yes.
You're going to ruin a good Monday.
I'm just telling the truth.
Anyway.
It is.
Monday morning, more followers. So.
I'm telling the truth.
Just knowing that, would we be here if we did not stay the course? If
right.
Terrence didn't say, I'm not listening, I'm focusing forward, I'm not buying into what Cheryl is saying, I know what's supposed to happen. And I think you have to be so focused on your future when you know what it is. And you
Absolutely.
know without a shadow of a doubt, would I be teaching nations? Would we both have traveled internationally? Would we have 2 sons?
No.
Miracle sons. We haven't even talked about that we had got the news. I was supposed to bear children after I said I do. So would I have the opportunity to impact nations in my classroom, in by teaching on the academic side? Would I even have that opportunity? Knowing that I am not a stellar scholar, but it hit, my light bulb clicked on late, but it got there where we thought it was late, but all of life mattered. Would I have that if I didn't say I do? If I didn't marry an adventurous, an entrepreneur that was a risk taker, that we'll talk about it later, that did cause us tremendous ups and tremendous downs. Right. But I'd rather be married to him than somebody that's bored sitting on the couch. I tell you, I add fire to his life. And I think he adds the
my gosh.
No, I'm the fire, but I think he puts gasoline on it.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're the fire. I don't know. I think it's switched.
We light each other up sometimes.
Blow up each other's lives.
It depends on the season. It depends on the season.
Yeah, you're right. We blow up each other.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. Sometimes that's not always good.
Your fires, nothing can put them out of time. My fires, you can just go get a blanket. I mean, there's a difference in the intensity of the flame.
It's all about being extreme, and it's all about just being all in.
So as the story goes, you know, you have to stay focused and stay forward when you know that that's your future. And I would not, by any stretch of the imagination, be able to accomplish the things I did, I'm doing and will do, and are in the midst of doing now. If I was not in the right place and following the path of God, which was not revealed to many, but unfolding to plenty, right? It wasn't revealed, but it's unfolding. And that's where you want your life. You don't want it where everyone knows the plans. We would all be a wreck.
Oh my gosh.
Knew the plans.
Because I would try to accelerate it.
At some point, you have to have internal self-confidence that this is the right decision.
Absolutely.
It's the right path for you. You have to know that. No one else can tell you that. No, and it causes you to strike against, may strike against what the closest people in your circle may believe, but it's what, may believe is not the best decision. But in the future, it's the right decision. Right now, it may not look like the best.
Right.
But in your future, it's going to be the right decision. And that's where we are, because you have to make that bold choice. And now it's bold decisions, and that's incredible. We're out of time already.
Can't believe it.
I know. Man. Monday, we got to talk about what happens at the wedding. But again, we would not be here if I that day did not walk down that aisle and say I do. If I did not come out of the zone of the wedding is off. If the wedding was off, my life would have been off. I'm just being very bold.
Wow.
If the wedding was off, there would be no little TJ and Josh. They're not little. There would be no my being in Wisconsin. There would not be a PhD.
Wouldn't be a Kairos.
There would not be a Kairos.
I probably would not even finish my undergrad degree here.
You would not be in economic development.
Oh, man.
We would not have some of the most precious people in our space that God has given us to mentor, to pastor, to love on, to pray for.
That is so true.
We would just not, oh Lord, Diana got tears, just amazingly being a testimony. And we have a tribute that our journey is a testimony to not just teach other people, but to encourage the heart. Maybe ours isn't all flowers and roses and other people's are. We've gotten to the point that sometimes you look at your life and say, why is it hard? Why is it everything we have to work so hard for? Why do you have to struggle so hard? But in that, you are so fruitful and powerful to someone else, because people will get online and tell you how wonderful life is. Wait until y'all hear we were married 2 months and our lights got turned off. And remember, your sister was laughing.
Oh, God.
Lord, his sister your mom sent your sister to bank to go pay. And y'all, the bill is $75. I mean, we probably all can roll our eyes at that right now. But, you're new and married.
Man.
$75.
The struggle was real in the first year. Real. Oh, my gosh. I can't wait to tell a story about how you made our macaroni.
Wow, Terrence, you're a little beast, aren't you?
I can't wait to tell that story.
Wow. You are so wicked. That's because we didn't have any more money. And I had to use what is at the house.
Yeah, because you
y'all hear this?
Because you still believed in shopping for 4 seasons on a limited budget. Oh, I knew what a budget was. Somebody didn't.
Lifestyle, you shouldn't have married me.
Lifestyle.
Didn't my daddy say, put me back?
Lifestyle is high output and low income.
It's 7:34. You all have an amazing week, a great week.
We come a long way.
You are who you are today, Lord. Diana. I tell you,
we've come a long way.
We've come a long way. But for us, it may not be for everyone. God has life structures where you are in that complement of what's necessary for your journey. This is our journey. I know there are people with millions and millions of dollars, and then we know people who have very little, who are very, very happy,
right?
Very powerful. It's what it takes you to keep you focused. And for us, we had to grow into accepting that our journey, our testimony, our story has thorns. It has thistles. It has,
and we'll tell about it.
We are to the point where we'll tell it because it's our story, and it's a sweet story that has some bitter moments in it, but it's sweet. So but you have
the bitter made it better.
The bitter made it better.
The bitter made it better.
Yeah, you go full circle and have that bitter become better. I like that. Let's end like that. Yeah, the bitter
made it better.
All right.
Love you. Y'all take care of yourself. Father, we just ask that you just continue to bless your people. We ask that those who are been able to receive this on the live, that they are blessed supernaturally, and those who will hear it and watch it later on. Father, we ask that you just bless them, God. Let them have an extraordinary week. Let them have a great week, God. Let this be a week of increase, expansion, and promotion, God. Oh, God, opportunity comes in your space. Opportunity is your portion. And we just bless you in Jesus' great name. Amen. All right, take care. Love you.
Love you.
Deuces.